Hi, and welcome to
Spilling
my.
Chai.
Hey guys.
Hello.
It's Maz,
And Chaz.
and we're back.
After a long hiatus.
I always didn't know if it was like hiatus or hiatus.
Okay, you say hi. What did you say?
Hiatus?
Hiatus? And I say hiatus. No, it's really not that.
Hyenas.
Hyenas. 'Cause I don't know how to say it.
We
Forget
did a sex podcast earlier on this year, and it was really good, but quite raw and mortifying once it was out.
It fully drained me.
We were drained for months, but we're back now.
Literally. Back again.
To talk about games people play in relationships or
Yeah.
dating or
Whatever.
fuck buddies.
Yeah, anything in any capacity, really.
Yeah.
Because there's always games you play when you first meet someone. You know, who texts who first? Do we phone that person? How, you know, age-old rule, like how many days do we leave it after the first date, etc., etc. And then obviously, games you play once you're in a fully established relationship.
And it's like going back to like who calls each other first or whatever. It's like, what do you do if you text someone, they don't reply for like a good few hours, 6 hours, say, but they're online, but they haven't read it, they haven't opened it yet. Then it's like when they reply, I'm the kind of person who will be like, I'm not going to respond, but I'll respond straight away. I'm like,
God,
hello,
yeah.
I
And then-
missed you.
And then you're like, I have no self-respect.
And also, I've lost the game. I feel like I have. Maybe it wasn't a game. Maybe they were genuinely busy. But if you're online, how busy are you?
No, man. There's always look. Okay, if you're in a fully established relationship, right, or even just someone you know, right?
Yeah.
If you've texted someone saying, "Hey, how are you doing?" or "What are you up to?" and the person reads it, the person's fully had time to go into their messages. They could have just read it on their push notification and left it if they were truly busy.
Yeah, and you know that they're reading it on the push notification and just like
Right.
deciding not to open it because I don't see it as that important, evidently.
Or maybe they are genuinely busy, because sometimes I do see something on a push notification and I'm like, you know what, it's better for me not to read it because I am actually a little bit busy to reply. But if I've made the effort, you know, putting my fingerprint on the phone or putting in a pin and going into WhatsApp or iMessage or text message or whatever it is, read it and then leave it, like, what's the point?
That's very true. And you know what I just was thinking as well? Is this games people play or is this the games in my head? where I'm like, oh, well, they're obviously doing this on purpose. How busy are? And then you're like, because you've just given me some sanity and some logical thinking, which is perhaps they're busy. Perhaps they haven't opened it because they know they're too busy to respond. Like
No. I think you need to go through the logical steps before you start going a bit crazy, right? Like, I'm thinking, right, think of all the logical steps before you think, you know what? They're fucking playing me or they're airing me. Like, that's when, you know, shit hits the wall, right? Like the wall, the fan.
They'll hit the wall.
But yeah.
Another one, which you know I've experienced because I've told you off air, shall we say, is when you send that essay like, hey, you know, I haven't seen you in a couple of weekends, say you're dating or whatever, and it's like, I miss you, or you know, I've come to see you, I don't feel like you make time for me, which was a situation I might have been in once upon a time or last week. Who knows, who will say.
Yesterday.
You say how you feel, you try and express yourself,
Yeah.
and they say K.
Just the
They
K.
reply K. Or I've had it like, what are you on about? And I know girls have had that before, like maybe not
Is
all,
that gaslighting?
obviously. That's something I didn't really know much about until a few years ago, like the term, actually, gaslighting. Break it down for the people, because I wasn't sure either.
I think gaslighting, in my mind, is when you feel a certain way about something, like a situation, and you explain it to that other person, and they basically deny it or make you feel like you're a bit crazy.
Yeah.
That's my understanding of gaslighting goes.
Me too, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, because let's say you, I don't know, extreme version, you think your boyfriend's cheating on you, and you say, you know what, babe, like, I think something's not right. Like, I feel like something's not right. And they're like, it's all in your head. It's all in your head. Whereas it might be in my head, but there is a way of saying it, I think.
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing, because maybe they weren't cheating, yeah, and like you say, it's just the way they're saying it, like...
Yeah, it's just...
You don't need to say I'm crazy.
Yeah, literally, you're crazy.
And I think we've spoken about this, like, in private time as well. It's about appeasing, like, your partner's fears. Like, we're all going to be insecure, but it's about dealing with reasonable insecurities and making your partner feel comfortable. Like, mutually, you should do that, I think.
Absolutely.
We'd love to all say we're secure enough to to be the cool girl, like.
No, do you know what? I think part of being in a relationship, in all relationships, there's always something you're going to be insecure about, whether it be your looks, whether it be a bit about your personality, maybe you've got a bit of anxiety about certain things, and you just want your partner to alleviate things, not to the point where they're responsible for making you feel happy. That shouldn't be on their heads. I'm trying to think of an example. I think I had like a partner who was a bit funny about, like, I don't know, this might sound pretty extreme actually when I think about it. It's like I used to have a lot of guy friends, and he used to feel really insecure about it until I guess he met them.
Well, that's it, fear of the unknown as well.
So I always make an effort, and I think we'll go into this a bit more, especially in the workplace, because I think workplace is another area where people can get really jealous and anxious and stressed about. It's like when they meet someone, then they alleviate their fears, and I think that's quite natural to do, but it should be a two-way street.
Yeah, and with guys, sometimes they don't feel the need to alleviate your fears mutually, but they expect their egos to be managed and looked after and taken care of.
What's that all about? Oh, make me feel better, make sure you're the good one because you're the one who could always cheat. No.
No.
Like, I just can't explain it. Oh my God, you know what really bugs me? When I'm in a relationship, when a guy like tells me like how many girls have hit on him, and he'll fully explain to me what happened, like, oh my God, he like fully explained what happened to him. And then if I said, oh, guess what, like I was at the bus stop and someone like tried to chirp me and ask for my number, he'll get all stressy and like angry and then make it out like it was my fault.
Do you know what that kind of reminds me of? It's a bit timely, but Love Island at the moment, 2019, with Joe and Lucy. Do you know what really like irked me in yesterday's episode? If you guys even watch it, I think it's the first one watching it. So I think
we're in
the
the
world
first.
watches
Yeah, it's the first
right?
week. This is the first. So it's day 3, I guess.
Day 3.
Yeah.
So they've known each other 2 days. She went on that date with another guy, Tommy, and then she came back and he was like, "I don't know if I could trust you."
I
and
know.
It's like.
Like, she was forced to go on that date. Like, it was not of her choosing. I mean, we're going a bit too deep. Like, if you guys don't watch like Love Island, but basically she was.
Yeah, sorry.
She
no
was
backstory.
basically Love Island. The premise is you couple up, but every so often a new boy or a new girl comes in and effectively break up that couple, and like they can couple up with them. So that's what happened. This guy came in. He picked this girl called Lucy. He was already in a couple with someone called Joe. So she was forced to go on a date with him. She didn't want to. But before you know it, it's all her fault. What's that all about?
And that's the thing, isn't it? It's like being chirped at the bus stop, for example. Why does someone else's actions towards you impact how another person trusts you, or if they're moody with you?
It's like when you go to a club with your boyfriend. Okay, you're wearing a short dress, you're trying to look pretty. There's nothing wrong with that. And you get your bum grabbed by someone, or someone tries to move to you when you've gone to the toilet or whatever. And all of a sudden, well, you shouldn't be dressed like that.
Yeah, or they just get moody, and it's like, well, you're not being moody with the guy, you're being moody with me.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Like, what do you want me to do? We could just move on. I'm like happy just to move on from that situation. I could just be like, you know what, I did not like that, but let's just move on.
Literally. So, what do you do in a situation like that? I don't know.
I just suppose it depends how often it happens, right?
Yeah, I mean, how long can you massage an ego for? Not, I mean, I need the same thing sometimes.
No, do you know what? I think jealousy, a little bit of jealousy in relationships is perfectly healthy.
Yeah.
But I think it's how people handle that jealousy. Like, I've been in situations where, I don't know if I've ever told you, I think I must have told you, like I was with someone and we were in the shop and this girl was really super, super drunk.
Okay.
And I don't think she saw me that I was with this guy, and she like literally tried to move to him in front of like me.
Yikes.
And I was like, bitch, do you not see me? Clearly you can't see me. But once I made my position clear, she moved away. But to me, that's like marking my territory. And you know what? I wasn't angry with him. I was just like, who does she think she is? I wasn't like, well, you shouldn't have been standing there looking all hot.
That's it. I know, right? Put your muscles away. Wear a long sleeve t-shirt, will you? Have some modesty.
Exactly. Oh my God.
What do you need a fresh trim for, huh?
Do you know what I mean?
On a random, like when it comes to Muslims, like obviously Chaz is Hindu, I'm Muslim. I'm Maz again. Hi. And it's like when guys, like Muslim guys, might want a woman to wear a hijab, but then they've gone and got like this shape up, like this proper extreme shape up, like, and they're oiling their beards, like, and plucking their eyebrows, like, because I know so many guys do that now, and it's like, well, yeah, what's the difference, really? Like,
Oh yeah, why can they and you can't?
Yeah, and I swear, like, anyway, we're going off subject, but like in Islam, there's something about like you shouldn't kind of beautify your hair the way, like putting intricate shapes in it and stuff, and like
Is that
doing
for
the
men and
fades
women?
stuff. Yeah, like men, like you just have your hair. Do you know what I mean? You cut your hair or you have some hair. Like you don't
One or the other.
try and like. So, but anyway.
I couldn't really comment on it, seeing as I don't know anything about it really. But
Me
yeah.
neither.
No, but I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But it's just like, yeah, exactly. A guy like an ex of mine, like, who was quite religious, like he'd go gym, like he went to like a gym with girls there, but then like he didn't want me to do certain things. Like he wouldn't be happy with me going to a mixed gym, for example.
Ooh.
Like obviously we broke up, that just didn't work.
That's you know what I don't like about that? It's not the fact that he did that, it's the fact that he had one rule for himself and another
me
rule
too.
for you.
I have no issue with him like getting his hair like looking however he wants. Like he can freaking pluck his eyebrows, put contact lenses in, wear a pink dress,
you do that?
like, and call himself Sally.
did
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, no, but he can like that's. But it was the fact that it was another rule for me.
Yeah.
Exactly. He was a cheater as well. I remember once I just had a feeling, like you say, something wasn't right,
Yeah.
and like he was just had some texts on his phone, but nothing major. The funny thing is with like gut instincts, it wasn't even like he was getting an abnormal amount of texts. It's just you feel something's not right. And I went on his phone and I saw a message from a girl like at 12:20, like, should we meet in the park, like have a smoke or whatever. Yeah, and
an unusual time to meet a female.
Yeah, we broke up shortly after that. In fact, you can go back to, I believe, podcast number 2, where we speak about getting caught with boys. He's the one I'm referring to.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Wow, I did not realise he cheated on you.
Yeah, well, do you know what? He never admitted it, but it was like, you were meeting this girl, like, you met her a few times. She even called me once and was like, leave him alone, like he's not interested in you. And
wait, I bet you weren't allowed to have any male friends though.
of course not, no, absolutely.
But he was allowed to have a
not.
female friend.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I think me and him argued. So to wind me up, quote unquote wind me up, this is completely unreasonable. He got the girl to ring me like, leave him alone, like, and he was like, lol, like knowing I was like going mental.
No, that's
like, he
terrible.
Yeah,
Because that's not even gaslighting you. That's just he has contempt for you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I was like 19, 18 then, and we broke up.
That's some mad games.
I would never put.
See, those kind of games is not even trying to be in a relationship. That's just trying to make someone feel awful about themselves. Mm-hmm. Like there's people in relationships who manipulate situations to purposely to make feel really awful. Like, why? Is it because they're insecure about themselves?
Yeah, I think that's just a lot of things are like, in my opinion, like emotional abuse almost, like. When it comes down to stuff like that, it is because you just want to make them feel rock bottom, like rubbish.
Yeah. But why is that? Is it because then they think that no one would like? Why would anyone want me?
Yeah, I think so. You're so insecure, you don't look anywhere else. Like,
do you know what? I could safely say that I think I've been there. Like, it's weird to think that at the time you don't think that.
You don't. Nah.
You don't think that at the time. You could be woke and feminist and just be woke as fuck and still be in that situation. That's what's so scary. It could happen to anyone.
And you can give your friends like advice, like you wouldn't put up with certain things, but when it comes to you, you just find yourself putting up with them, and one day you wake up and you're like, oh, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, why am I putting up with this?
Before you know it, you're married, you've got kids, and you're like, wait a second.
But it's a slippery slope because they'll charm you, and it will be a little tiny nudging comment, and then there'll be more comments, and they all build, and you'll go home and think about the comments, and then you'll sleep on the comments, and then they're saved in your sleep. Like when you're having like your REM, I suppose it's all being stored in there. Give it 3 years of a drip feed, literally drip, drip, drip,
what
drip,
it is,
drip.
isn't it?
You're poisoned after 2 years with negative thoughts about yourself.
That's scary, man.
Yeah, that's not games people play. That's just, if you're going through that, like, leave, like, now.
Well, this is the thing. People
I've taken it too far.
No, people don't really. I don't think that like comprehend like that fact that something like this could happen to them. Like,
No.
when I think back on it, something like that similar has happened to me, and I don't think at the time I was like, oh yeah, this is just this person's being rude to me. I was literally, I think you're so enamored by that person. You kind of take it.
Yeah. Why am I like, what does enamored mean? Charmed?
I guess enamored means
Fond?
Fond of. It's a French word.
I could have pretended, but you know what, fam, I had to ask. I don't know. Well, in being infatuated with someone and stuff, My issue is, like, nowadays, is I'll put up with shit for physical affection.
Oh God, we've all been there. Oh
God, I feel better because I genuinely was like, am I a nymphomaniac? Am I? And it's not. And I definitely am not, by the way. Like, absolutely not. I don't even know. But you think that because, like, or clingy, like both really. It's like I want physical affection, whether it's cuddles,
make you do crazy things.
yeah, whether it's cuddles or sex. I guess that's just intimacy with another person that you're after, like. And then someone might be a bit of a dick, but I'm like, oh, but they're coming over in a couple of hours, and like,
You want to make the
get
best of
high.
the situation, don't
I'll
you?
get the high that I've been waiting for all week because
Yeah.
I've been at work, like I haven't seen them all week, like I've only hugged my cat or my friends, and my friends are great and my cat is awesome.
Yeah.
But like, you know, yeah, you want to make the most out of it and get what
Yeah.
you can out of when you're seeing someone, like.
Yeah, I've been there.
And that's the thing. You can say, oh, like, be single, be independent, but I think at the end of the day, humans are like, we're designed for physical touch, like we need it to survive. Isn't there that thing, like, I'm not gonna go down the rabbit hole, but like with babies, like they don't develop properly if they're not held, like we need that. And like, so that's, I'll put up with all sorts of shit just
100%.
for that, because I'd rather not. I'm too lazy to go out and meet someone new. So
Mate, that's the problem. You know what, there's like this crazy fact, I don't know who said it, but it's a crazy fact that a lot of people have settled in relationships for the pure fact that they just don't want to be lonely, and I think it also be because they're lazy. And it's so hard to meet people. I don't think there's anything wrong with online dating, but I find it so daunting, like to do something like that. Like
when it's like face swipe, it's like I can't online shop. I could, like, you know, you'll have 10 pairs of trousers and I'm like, well, they all look kind of similar price range. Like, I don't know which one to choose. Like, I have to go to the shop and look at them, and it's exactly the same for people. Like, I might see 10 guys, but it's like, well, I don't know. Like, I can't. You're not grabbing me because it's just a picture. It's a status.
I just don't know. I mean, I do know someone who's engaged actually.
Oh my God.
From meeting on Tinder.
Okay, all right.
And I was actually really surprised when he said that to me. When he was like, "Yeah, I met my like fiance like on Tinder." I was like, "Fuck off, seriously?"
Another friend of mine is close to being engaged.
So it does happen.
Yeah, from
it does
Tinder.
happen.
Mm-hmm.
How do they meet in the old days, like our parents' generation?
I don't know, like, well, I know, like, my parents, they saw each other, and then my grandparents, I guess, were like, right, off you go and get married.
Oh, I forget that we're Asian. My parents were arranged marriage. I meant like if I was an English lady.
For me, like, as at least a British one, the last time I met someone in person was just being on the high street and just being chatted up, actually, or I was in a park, like, off round the corner from the high street, and I was approached, and then we swapped numbers, and then it went awfully and we broke up 2 years later. but that doesn't seem to happen anymore, and I think people are losing confidence in speaking to people in real life because we're always texting.
Do you know what, a lot of people meet via friends of friends.
That's a really good way to meet people. I think you've got kind of a reference, like you know the person's relatively sound because they've got a mutual friend.
But the problem is, I'm always at home. I'm like, nah, I can't be bothered to go out. No, I don't like socializing.
Do you know what my issue is? Like, and people have said this to me, like, God, someone help me. Anyone, make a comment online. Chaz, help me.
About what?
Which is, it's that I'm really closed off. Like, people say I've got quite a closed aura. Like, with friends,
Oh my
obviously
God.
not. Like,
Really?
with you, I'm like very open, like very huggy, like
People
warm.
have said that to me.
But
People
with
have said I'm really
guys-
cold.
With guys, I just get really cold. And
Yeah.
obviously, maybe that's just being hurt before, but I guess everyone's been hurt once before. But for me, I'm very cold and harsh. Like, my friends, like, we went on a double date, like, where they kind of introduced me to this guy. Went on a double date, and like, my friend after was like, you were just, yeah, like, you won't meet anyone like this. But I'm just quite defensive. It's like, you really have to prove yourself. I'll prove myself as well. I'm not saying like just the guy has to prove themselves, like, but I'm just wary and cynical. And like, how do you kind of erode that feeling? How do you start chipping away at it after mistrust for so many years?
I think my one is just fear in my mind that my parents are going to kill me if I meet someone. Like, I grew up with the notion that like I shouldn't have a boyfriend. So like whenever I used to like meet guys, like in passing, whatever, I used to literally just be like frozen, and I'd just be like, I'm not talking to you. I just used to just be a total like douchebag.
Yeah.
And I think that's just gone on to, I don't know how I've been in a relationship.
Well, treat him mean, keep him keen. Although apparently for me, I've just got like this fuck off written on my
No,
forehead.
I think I have the same thing. I've been told, like my friends have been like, you know that guy was onto you, right? And I was like, oh, okay. And they're like, yeah, but you just had this really like bitchy kind of aura about you, and I think they're just.
Thanks.
And I was just like, oh shit, I didn't even think of. I didn't even. It's not. I don't know. I suppose if in my mind I want to be like moved to, and I giving that aura about myself, that's a bit peak, innit? That's a bit crazy. Like,
I don't know. I think for me, like, I hope for the best, but I expect the worst. I don't know if that just comes across that I'm just
maybe,
like,
but I think that's all girls these days. Do you know what I mean? I think all
Yeah.
girls are being screwed over in one way or another.
Yeah, you get to a point where you just really got
Like,
your armor up.
Yeah, like
basically.
I've been cheated on. I'm like you, like I got cheated on, but the person never really admitted it.
Yeah, and you know it.
And you know it, like you've got the receipts, but
We won't talk about new people or anything like that, but have you ever cheated?
no. But I will be honest. I'll be honest. There's been times.
Like,
No.
I'll drink alone.
No. The reason I haven't cheated yet is out of pure like pride and trying to get what it was. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I've played games. Yeah. Like I will fully. I don't think I've ever gaslighted someone, but I will have. I like to be that moral. Like superior moral person, but like I've never cheated, but in my head I'm thinking, you see someone in the
Yeah.
street and you're like, yeah,
I would.
I would, like but I would just not cheat on the purely for the fact that it's wrong, like not
absolutely, you lose moral high ground.
you lose you've lost the game, you've lost the game, you've lost the ultimate battle,
Ding,
like
ding, ding,
ding,
out the
literally,
ring.
but
I have once when I was like really young, and I do obviously really regret it. It's something, and it's like, do you know what? Like, it's such a deep quote, but like it stuck with me. It's just that like lies are like scars on your heart, like they'll stay there forever, and it's kind of true because I've always felt guilt about it. Like long after we
no, really
broke up, like it was that thing I did. Do you know what I mean? Like the bad thing I did. Like no one's accountable for it.
But I'm glad you feel like you feel that, because some people just cheat and don't care.
Yeah, it's true.
Like,
yeah.
they just cheat with girl after girl after girl. Like, I don't understand. I'm not saying just guys. It's just because I know people who are female who've been in a relationship with guys. I'm sure girls can do the same thing. I mean, why not? I was gonna say, oh my god, little mini story time. Yeah, have you ever been like ghosted?
Yeah, I've got a really freaking good story.
Tell me.
Okay, so right, I'll pull the chair up, get a little closer, because fucking hell, mate. Sorry, I can't. Right, so it was a high school boyfriend. If you're listening, wow, I hope you're so unhappy, because that's all karma like owes you.
Oh, really?
But okay, so yeah, first boyfriend in high school. We dated for a couple of years, like going into college basically. And towards the end, I get it. Like I've mentioned in this podcast, I am clingy, and I've always been that way. I'm Cancer star sign. Like if we've ever been,
that's not an excuse.
It's not an excuse, but it's I'll use it as a character trait. And forget the star sign. That's just who I am. I guess a bit clingy.
I meant like there's nothing wrong with being a bit clingy.
No,
because some people like that.
Yeah, haven't met anyone yet. Anyone out there? But no. Okay, so yeah, I'm making excuses, but that is also what women do. Like you try and justify it by thinking what you did wrong, because it couldn't have been just solely the other person, right? But anyway, bit clingy perhaps for 16, 17, and we spoke a lot, but it was a really good relationship anyway. Point is everything was fine, and I called him up like, hey, what are you doing? Like, how's things going? He's like, yeah, like everything's all good. We're chatting, and then EastEnders came on, like doof 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 doof. EastEnders always comes into the chat, doesn't it? Anyway, we'll speak about EastEnders dramas later. But so I'm on the phone to this guy. We're just chatting. I'm like, doof doof doof. Oh, EastEnders is on. And I was like, oh, like, are you gonna watch EastEnders? We'll chat later if you want. And the phone hung up, and I thought, oh, like that's a bit weird. I guess he really wants to watch EastEnders. Like, I'll watch it. He'll watch it. Okay. Called him back, like off my like Motorola or whatever it was back in those days. We didn't have no no smartphones, nothing. Called him back after EastEnders, didn't answer the phone. I thought, oh, like maybe he's having a bath, whatever. Call him back again. We've been dating like from 14 to 17 or something, like 3 years. Like, so I'm calling. Chaz, I never heard from him again.
Oh my god! Did you not know where he lived? Maybe he died or something. Didn't you go check?
Right. So I went to his house. No one was there. Obviously his mum's there, like, but I can't, at that age, like, you can't really be like, I want to see your son, because she'll be like, who the hell are you? Like, go back to college. Like, he would like go away, little girl. And then like, I guess about 8 to 10 months later, I met a new guy, and I was like devastated. Still 8 to 10 months later, because there's no resolution, no conclusion,
crazy.
no nothing. I know.
3 years.
To this day, I've never heard back from that guy. And okay, it was 14 to 17, like age wise, very, very young.
But you know he's
But
fine. Like he was fine when you left him after the EastEnders and all that kind of
Well, I'll
stuff.
tell you why I knew he was fine, because I told my ex. So after about 8 to 10 months, I met somebody else who is now an ex anyway. I met them, and you speak about body counts or whatever, and that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about in this podcast actually. But I would never like fuck off about my body count. But anyway, back then I was like, yeah, there was this one guy, and I told him the EastEnders story and what happened, and he was like, so that was the first guy you basically had sex with, and he did that to you, yeah? And I was like, yeah, like, can you imagine, opening up to this guy, like a really stupid 17-year-old, I suppose, giving away too much too soon, certainly.
Yeah.
So, where does he live? Obviously, I'm like, yeah, it's number 123 Shithead Road, like, whatever, like, yeah, that's where he lives, like, I'm just saying it. But to be fair, I didn't know this new guy much, so I thought, he's just talking shit, like, he ain't gonna do nothing. But he did go. And I found out that he was all right.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he
bad
went.
Boy.
And I love that shit.
Oh shit,
You imagine
man.
this guy who fucked me over, my new boy, who was much sexier, like much penger. Like, obviously this is so immature, and like, I was 17. Like, disclaimer, like I would never. But like my new boy, my hot bad boy, he went over there like, you fucking taking the piss, like. And then the old boy called me back, but like 10 months later, and was like, some guy just came to my house, and I was like, but imagine actually, yeah, I didn't know that my new boyfriend at the time had gone to his house. I had no idea. No, he didn't tell me nothing. And then the day after, the one who vanished during EastEnders called me and was like, some guy came to my house, like, what, who was that? And I was like, I don't know, like, I don't know.
I don't know, it could be any guy. I'm a slag.
I don't know. Also, like, well, I was more going for the angle that had nothing to do with me, but I mean, okay, fine, Chaz, thank you. So
that's the excuse I would have gone for. I don't know.
I don't know, could be any one of them. So then I rang the new boy back, like, did you actually go to his house? And he was like, no.
Was it? Oh, okay. He was like fake denying it. Okay.
And that was that. Anyway, we dated for a while, but he's the guy who
fighting for your honor. I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, that was
his karma. That was his karma. You're right. That was his karma, and it was just a turn. Like, it was. And I know it sounds sick, but this is like a Freudian thing, perhaps. But I didn't like have my dad much around then, and you're 17 and there's this big protective figure. That is what dad would have done though, isn't it? Like, how dare you do that to my daughter? Like,
some weird daddy issues there, obviously. Like,
God, I must have a whole load because I love bad boys. Well, not now. My God, not now. Not now.
No.
Give me someone stable, please.
So anyway, I've been ghosted, and that's what happened. What about you?
Not to that extent, actually. Not to that extent. I was just thinking about it because I was just remembering about right at the beginning of this podcast when you were saying that you hate getting, like, when you get aired. When you write this whole long essay and you get aired, it's not nice. Well, I was talking to this guy, not very long, to be honest with you, not very long. We met up a couple of times, and then he just started acting like a bit of a dickhead, to the point where I think he just wanted to end things with me, which is fine. Not at the time, but whatever.
Yeah.
And but the thing was, the way he didn't explain to me things properly. He was just being really off with me. Do you know what I mean? Like, just genuinely airing me, and then coming back online. Doing that whole thing going online, but you can see he's online, but he's airing my messages, and I'm just like, you're getting more and more desperate. Like, hey, are you okay? Oh, have I done something wrong? Like, I hate the fact that I was that person. Especially when I wasn't even in a relationship with this person, and I was acting, dare I say it, quite desperate.
Yeah, we've all been there though.
Like, I don't, like, when I look back at it, I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, what was I thinking? So average.
But it's like, to be fair, that's just frustrating because inside, you deserve the respect of being at least told what's on his mind.
Exactly.
So it's like, just tell me, because I know if he told you, you would have been like, okay, like, that's that. But you had no answer. It was all left in the air. So I would have been the same. It's hard to let things go.
It's hard to let go. So I just went crazy, in the sense, I wouldn't even say crazy, but I just sent this long ass message just being like, well, I don't know, why are you being so rude? You know, if you just tell me what the issue is, if you don't want to like carry on with this, can you just let me know? You know, just be a bit more respectful. I did send this. I sent such a long message, right? I didn't get a K. I didn't get what you want about.
Yeah.
I got a block.
Sorry. Just snorted.
My man didn't even. It didn't get blue ticks. It got 2 double ticks, and you know when it gets like delivered.
Yeah. How did you know? I was going to say, yeah.
Oh mate, I was thinking about this for like weeks on end, right? So he must have literally saw it on his push notification. He must have saw like bare lines, right? You know, it comes like the first 3 or 4 lines, and obviously it's not nice. It's probably like, oh, you know, you're a dickhead, blah blah. He must have thought, I ain't dealing with this. Probably just went on WhatsApp and just blocked me without even reading the whole message. So I spent like probably like an hour writing this message, rereading it, typing it out, sending it, and it didn't even get read. Like, you know, it's like, I've not spoken to him since. Like, I've not seen him. I've not spoken to him. Nothing like that of that kind. It's like, it's a bit unresolved. I don't know, you know. Not that I'm really bothered about it. Like now, like I really don't care. Like it never hurt. Like it's not like I've been with him 3 years and then ended with like doof, literally.
Hang up the phone.
No, but
it's just that disrespect and the fact that you just didn't think I was worth explaining to. Because even I know like boys say this, like, but if I had said, or if I had replied and said, look, I'm not interested, that wouldn't have been, you would have probably replied with something else. Like you wouldn't have said, okay, that's fine. Like, and I wondered to myself if that's true. Like,
you know, if that's true, then block me by all means.
Agree. Yeah, that's it. Block me then. But
because if a girl says no to a boy and a boy still persists, that's really frowned upon. It should work both ways.
Agreed.
But when a guy, when I'm physically saying, hey, I haven't heard from you, I don't know what's going on, why the sudden flip, what have I done wrong? You know, when you're asking certain questions, all you had to be like, do you know what, like, Chaz, I'm sorry that I have been airing you for a little while, but things just don't feel right. I don't think we should like talk to each other anymore.
Simple.
I would have been like, you know, that would have hurt me, but I would have been like, you know what, at least he was honest about it.
Yeah, now I can sleep tonight. I might cry before I sleep.
Yeah.
But I'll sleep knowing that's that now.
Exactly, done and dusted. At least I know exactly where I stand. That's the thing. Like, you know where you stand, because then you can start to move on with your life a little bit.
Exactly. Just peace and resolution. But
God.
Oh my God, just speaking of mortifying games people play, have you ever like, okay, I think we've definitely all been there, like where a guy will text you something and you think, oh, that's a bit weird or whatever, so you screenshot it to send it to your girls, like for analysis.
I already know where this
for
is
analysis. Going. What would you do though? Because I've heard of this happening, like naming no names, but anyway, sorry girl if you're listening. And then you send it back to the guy. Like,
you might as well just kill yourself.
Go to the River Thames
and just literally
and jump in.
Just jump.
But like, it happens quite a lot these days. Like, I know a few people who have had that happen where they've sent screenshots to the person.
Personally, I think it's worse when it's like an acquaintance or even a friend. You know, when you're like in a group message and someone's going off on a group message, and then someone's like, what the fuck is, like, you know, Sally saying? What is she saying? And then you send it to Sally, like, oh, dead.
Oh, I've been
dead.
There, yeah.
I've never personally done it myself, but I've been
the recipient.
Not the recipient. I've never been the recipient either, but I've just been there when the person said, oh shit, I just sent it to Sally, what the fuck do I do? SOS.
Yeah. But basically they meant it to send it to you or something.
Yeah, they were meant to send it to me, but they actually sent it to like the person they're talking about.
Oh, how pain. That's the thing with like phones now. It makes relationships more complicated, because imagine back in the day when we were dating, like perhaps in college or whenever you started dating, we didn't have to think about, like I've sent a message and there's blue ticks. He was on Instagram 24 minutes ago. He's just tweeted, you know, and he hasn't even called me back. Oh, I fucking sent a screenshot to someone else, like to him about messages that he sent to me. None of this existed.
There's the conversation me and you will have, but then there's the sub messages that happens offline, like, or online, should I say? Like, oh yeah, I saw that she liked so and so's pictures.
Yes, that's another one.
Also, what's your opinion on this, right? I personally hate it.
Yeah.
I think it's wrong when you're in a relationship and you're liking the opposite sex pictures, like Insta models or.
Crazy enough, I've never dated anyone with an Instagram account. So
good.
But if I saw a guy and I was dating a guy and then it was like, you know, you can see what they're doing or whatever, and he liked Bear Girls pictures, I'd obviously go to every girl and see who they are.
See, this is the thing, right?
It's difficult.
If it's like a famous person, right? Like a super famous person, right? I can't think of anyone right now, but like, say my man decided to like Jennifer Lopez's picture.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd say too much about it. I don't think I'd really care. But when it's like an Insta model, like, and I'm putting this in quote marks, like an Insta model, she's not famous per se,
Yeah.
except on this platform.
Basically, you're following her for wank material.
That's,
to be honest,
that's what I'm thinking. And you know what? There's nothing.
Has to be.
No. The thing is, there's nothing wrong with looking at the picture, right? There's nothing wrong with looking at the picture. I don't know what you're doing if you're looking at the picture, but why are you liking it? Because I can see that you've liked it. Is that a game you're playing? Are you trying to fuck with my mind and make me feel insecure, saying that I should look like that Insta model, or do you literally just do not give a shit? Because, or even do you think by liking it, she's going to pay attention to you?
I think it's that. I think that they don't think that deeply that we're going to see it. Obviously, some guys certainly will think, oh, she's going to see it, and that's another game playing tactic.
Yeah.
But I think some guys will think, oh, she ain't. They're not even thinking that we're going to see it, and I worry that they're liking it in hopes that they'll be noticed. But then, mind you, I think you have to worry about them trying to be noticed when they comment more so than a like. If they comment on a girl's picture with fire emojis, what are you trying to do?
Oh no,
you're definitely you're trying to engage. Definitely.
Yeah.
That's when it crosses the line. For me.
But I just don't even understand why you're liking it in the first place. I wouldn't do that. Like, I might perv on like a celebrity's like
absolutely
Insta, like, you know, I go on The Rock all the time. Like, I love The Rock, like he's cool.
Yeah.
But I don't even love him like that. I just like him because I want, like, I like him in I want to be your like wife, not even like, oh yeah, hubba. Like I just want you to be like my husband, and
I just want to have your babies. Is that all right?
and I just want to be like in a family with you. That's all.
I just want to live with you and die with you.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I just want to be buried next to you.
Yeah, like that's all it is.
Nothing deep.
Nothing deep.
I want to go back to. I'm sorry to jump subjects, guys, but I want to go back to while I remember is body count. That really bothers me, you know, is that guys, like, even in rap songs, like, I haven't dated a guy in so long who's asked me that, to be fair. I've heard of people being asked, though. I haven't been asked for a while myself, but guys just saying, like, need to find out the count, like, if it's a certain level, then fuck it, like, but your count doesn't matter. Like, I just think that's really outdated and shit.
That is so outdated. Ugh. Do you know what? Why are you asking me at my big age as what my body count is?
Yeah.
I could be married and divorced by now. Do you know what I mean? That's a bigger figure in my opinion.
And I just think, what has my body got to do with you prior to having you in my life? What has you have no agency over me?
I don't understand.
I hate it.
I don't understand. Okay, getting very technical here, right? God, I don't know if I should be saying this. You know how like guys are like, this is their excuse from what I've heard, like from the few guys that I've talked about this too. I knew a guy. I think I've mentioned this in my in one of the previous podcasts. Actually, I knew a guy who was insistent on marrying a virgin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember vaguely me talking about it? And I was like, why? What does it matter if she's been with one guy or 100 guy? Like, I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
But in a mad way, I also agreed with him. But that's just misogyny, you know, like, you know,
internalized.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens.
Yeah. I kind of agreed with him, but I was like, you know, I'd understand if it was like 10 guys. There's nothing wrong with sleeping with 10 guys, do you?
Absolutely not. No.
But you know, if it's like 2 or 3, like, what's wrong with that? Like, and he's just like, it's like, he said something really weird. He was just like, you know, like, with a penis you can like wash it and it's cool. Like, you know, like you could, but with the vagina, it's like the penis is being inside, like it's being inside. Like, you can't like wash it, not realizing the vagina is a self-washing. Like whatever. And also he said, I think someone else said something about like, you know how they like, yeah, you know, she's like loose because like, you know, her badge is like, you know, when you fuck her, it's like fucking a plastic bag. Like, I've heard comments like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, it's vile, is what they, it's vile, right? Like, you might laugh at it, you know, when you like hate on girls, like back in the day, like, I've hated on girls and I'd be like, yeah, she's a slag, I bet her pussy's like loose as fuck or whatever like that, like, sorry to be graphic, but
back in the day, yeah, like when you're immature, like I've certainly said things I never would now.
I could never imagine, I can't believe I used to say those things, to be quite honest with you. It's quite horrible.
Yeah, but it is internalized misogyny, because it is like you're raised to believe you must be a certain way and you must agree with this certain way of life, otherwise you'll never be seen as remotely desirable. You'll be ostracized. You'll be ostracized.
Yes, you will be.
From
I don't No, from what?
From fucking what? From society? I don't know. Like, you won't be
From being seen.
I think my original point stands is that you just won't be seen as a desirable woman, and it's true because this guy was looking for virgins. Obviously, fuck that. We need to just change the status quo. We know that now, and we decide what's acceptable.
Yeah, because he wasn't a virgin.
You know? Yeah. What a funny way of looking at it in terms of the penis can be clean.
No.
And
But I remember like talking to someone about this. Yeah, this is where I was like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is how my mind worked. This is how I was trying to like say that this logic is stupid, because I was like, okay, what if a girl had one boyfriend? You know, like she had one boyfriend, she slept with him for like 2 years, you know, 2 or 3 years or whatever. Oh yeah, it's fine. One body count is fine. You know, she's not gonna have a loose pussy. Blah blah blah. I was like, what if he had a massive dick, like a fucking massive dick?
And that's what I was going to say. Like, obviously, women can, like, give birth and go back to their size. So I think that if you're fucking a plastic bag, you're working with a pencil. You know what I mean? Like that's your issue, I'm pretty sure.
It works both ways. You want to try pussy, girls want a big dick, and that's where the insecurity
I want
comes
girth as well. I don't want length. I don't just want length. And yeah, that makes no sense. So they're fucking the same guy. So they could have been stretched. Yeah, they could have been stretched out the same way. So what is it like?
It makes no sense. I was like, what if the guy had a big dick? Because your idea, you're saying if you have sex with multiple men, your vagina is going to get stretched out, right? Okay. What if a man has one big? If that's true,
yeah.
If one man has one big dick and you're having sex every single day, she's not a slag. She's in a committed relationship and it didn't work out. What then? Obviously, that's not true. Like, that's not true. Yeah. I know that factually that's not true. But this is what I'm trying to say. Like, that kind of logic just does not work. It does not make sense. It's just flawed. Like you said, when a woman has a baby,
pings back like an elastic band. Not quite, but
and
it varies obviously. But
you're not the same.
It's built, but you know,
it just makes no sense. Men are stupid.
And the thing is, like, in terms of a count, like, it's like my count's not even bad. Like, I can use a hand and still have my thumb free. Do you know what I mean? Like, but the point is principle. Why the fuck is that your business?
Nah, do you know what
it's
it
principle.
Is? It's the fact that I just think men just think like, oh my God, like, I think it's just property. I think they just see them as property. Like,
and then it goes back to being in a nightclub and having your bum grabbed and the guy being angry with you, the property.
Yeah.
It's like claiming agency, but they're not going to take it out on the person who did it. It's just it's really difficult being a woman. Like, you have to be a certain way.
You're always like conscious. You could never truly be 100% yourself, because and the people who are themselves tend to be called slags.
Yeah, exactly. You have to kind of live with what society throw at you as consequence.
If you want to do you and be your true authentic self, like, people will call you out for it. They will say, oh, look at her, who does she think she is, blah blah blah. It's quite difficult, isn't it, just to be yourself?
I don't know what it reminded me of. Cat Slater. I wasn't just a normal slag.
I was a massive
slag.
That line is so legendary.
Cat is a legend. Like, Cat is sick. I love Cat.
Look at
Anyway, we're talking about extenders. Sorry, but
we had to do it for one time.
We
had to do it one time still.
I just need confidence anyway so that I don't buy into the games. But I guess there's only so much confidence you can have. Everyone buys into the games event a little bit, you know, in relationships. Basically, everyone plays a little bit of a game.
Well, going back to like body count, like, just if you was seeing someone and that conversation came up, like, do you think it's an acceptable conversation to come up, and when do you think can it come up?
I think fine if it's in the right context, it can come up, and obviously I think you get to, and that's a good point about when, because I think you can get to a stage in the relationship where you talk about your history and your hurt and what you've been through and what you don't want moving forward. And within that conversation, that it may come up then. Like, if I'm on a first date, no. Second date, maybe fourth.
Yeah. And
in that fourth conversation, it will probably be, like I say, like, just discussing what you want out of each other and what you've had in the past. And maybe it will come up. And it's not, that question isn't a requirement in deciding your future.
No.
But it might come up that you discuss your past, but it shouldn't, and I don't think it should be a question that you even need to answer. Well, if they say, how many partners have you had, I could say a few. I don't want to talk about them, but the last one was like this and that's why it ended, and here I am.
Yeah. Do you know what? when obviously talking about like when we were talking about body count when I was seeing a guy and you know, I told him how many I had because he did ask. To be fair, he was like, "Oh, do you mind me asking?" And I was like, "Okay, fine. If you want to know, you want to know. Like whatever." And then I asked him because I just thought I might as well know, and he almost kind of showed off and he was like, "Oh, I don't really remember like the exact number, but it's definitely over like 20 women," and this was when we were really really young as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And I just remember being a bit like sick, not because he slept with so many women, but the fact that he was showing off about it, that kind of made me feel a little bit sick. I was like, okay, because if I said the same number as you wouldn't be smirking.
No, you wouldn't. Like, and I've got to say, I'm yet to meet a guy who's kind of bragged about his body count, who's good in bed. Was he? May I ask?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, is that like like I don't want to admit he actually was good?
Yeah,
or was
probably.
Or was that like like he didn't? Could you tell he slept with 20? Did he have the experience of having slept with these amount of women?
I think this is a valid, very very. For me, I think a man can get his joy sleeping with any kind of woman because he's the one. But it's very like he's putting his penis in a woman. Whatever.
Yeah.
But for a woman to feel that kind of excitement, she needs to be with that one partner for a long time. I feel like that's just my opinion. Like, unless the girl is willing to take control, do you know what I mean? Unless the girl knows what she wants and she's going bang bang bang, like I want it.
Yeah.
But for a man to give it right the first time, I think it's difficult.
I think yeah, you're right. It's less complex, I think, for a man to like reach orgasm, like particularly the first time, whereas the first time for a woman, like you're trying to work out each other's bodies, like what works. It could be a bit awkward, so the woman might not get there because it's not an A to B road, like you say. Whereas with a guy, it kind of is. Yeah. On the flip side, I think if you date a guy who knows like what the clitoris is, where it is, how far it reaches internally in your body, and how to reach it from the kind of vaginal aspect of it. If you really know the mechanics of a woman, like you appreciate it and you've taken the time out to understand it, you can press the right buttons and get the right result.
This is the thing,
but that's a fucking rarity.
But that's not from a guy sleeping with so many women because he's just getting his kicks and going. That's my opinion. He's getting his kicks, getting his wham bam, thank you ma'am, and going off. It's not like he wants to impress that woman. Because when someone is that good, it's because he wants to impress that woman.
Yeah, that's very true. Like you might have pride and you might even like love and respect women, so that when you do sleep with them, you care to like satisfy everyone you sleep with. Maybe you care about your reputation, or like you say, maybe the guy's got a lower body count and the women he's dated he's cared about, so he's worked on achieving orgasm for them. That's a really good point actually. Like
men do have competitions with each other. Who can sleep with who the most? Like they have these competitions, whereas so for them it's not like I want to make this woman happy. It's literally like no.
It's like, how many women can I masturbate with?
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Like,
every hole is a goal.
Oh, God.
Literally.
And this is why we walk around with bitch auras. Do you understand?
Mate, like, I don't want to be a goal. Do you know what I mean?
I don't want to be a hole that's a goal.
Unless I'm up for it myself. Unless I'm like, do you know what? Like.
And, sorry, do you know what? This is a scary thing for me. Which is, like you say, unless you're up for it yourself, you meet someone, maybe you don't know them that well, you know them well enough, whatever the case is, you're safe as long as you're safe, and you want to get your rocks off, so you don't give a shit if you're a goal because you're going for your own aims.
Yeah.
This day and age, talking about phones, do you ever get scared? It's trust, because what if they take a picture of you,
like while you're sleeping or something?
While you're sleeping, while, like, sorry to be graphic, but if like they're doing it from behind.
Oh my God.
I think about because I've read so many I've read a lot of horror stories now.
You're right still.
Yeah, what if they've got a camera in their room, because cameras are like $6.99 on Amazon now. That's why it's too difficult. Do you know why I get
paro, like going into an unfamiliar like place, like and thinking there's a camera in the house?
With hotels.
Yeah, with hotels.
Airbnbs. Even coffee shops. Yeah, did you read about the guy who went to Starbucks, and if you guys don't know, a guy basically put a camera in the disabled toilets of, there's one toilet in Starbucks actually, which is just a disabled one, put a camera in there, right? Yeah. And then he was watching women go to the bathroom.
Yeah. I think of that about work because there's like loads of cubicles and it's like a really old building. There's loads of little holes in there, and I wonder about these things. Do you know what I mean?
And I read like it happened in America, to be fair, but still like recently it happened in a gym ladies changing room.
Oh my god.
And I do like strip off in the changing room because normally I'm in a rush, but and like some women do like preserve their modesty, but once I got used to my gym, like I'd literally just strip off and quickly change because I had to rush back to work in most cases after my shower or whatever. And but hearing that story, I thought you have to be. What is a safe space now, really, apart from your room? And sorry, this is going way off into like conspiracy files. Maybe we should do that one day. But even are you safe in your room if your camera's not covered on your laptop? No, I don't think you are.
No, I'm shaking my head. Like no, if I'm like getting changed, like saying I'm on my laptop, I will fully close my laptop. Like that's how like paro I am.
No, I've covered mine. Yeah, I've covered my work laptop. I've covered like sometimes I think when I'm lying there watching EastEnders, like maybe half dressed in bed, like, and you think, what if someone's watching you back?
Like literally. Mate.
Anyway, can't trust no one. But that's the point. Anyway, of course,
revenge porn is a real thing.
It is. There's this woman called Michaela Monsoon who's like a friend of mine. She's a writer. She's really amazing. Like, and she's a Scottish lady actually, and I'll put it in the link, but she's made a website recently basically called Revenge on Revenge Porn. And she's doing a project basically to help women who have been victims of it kind of regain their own power, tell their own stories, and they're working with the police as well. But real work needs to be done on like revenge porn because like the police don't take it that seriously yet. They're taking it more serious, but not really.
Unrelated. Well, it's totally related, but do you remember, Black China and like Rob, they were going out with it. Like obviously Black China is like, she like has assets and she likes to show them off. Like people have probably seen her naked in some way or another, but that was her choice, right? Like she's the one that put the photos out and stuff. I don't know if you remember like when Rob like literally leaked so many photos and everybody was like so horrible. They were like, oh well, she's already got naked pictures of herself on the internet, like why does this matter? And he's like, that's not the point.
It's not. No, she didn't consent to it. Like this is out of her control.
Like that's the mother of his child.
Yeah, and the child's gonna grow up and find that online. Like the fact that he did that as a news story.
Like that is so fucked up. Like you're that insecure. You did that to your own baby mums because you two had an argument over something. You thought, like it comes down to that insecurity thing. Like that like I'm so insecure, so I'm gonna make you pay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like she could have done anything. She could have been like rude to him. She could have said anything. She could have been like, oh, your shit boyfriend or whatever. But there's no need to be that rude.
Nah, you've just crossed the line. Betray of trust. That's the thing with phones and with trust and with men.
Yeah. Even in a fully committed relationship, I don't think I could ever send like pictures. I just there's that, you've been hurt before, you've been betrayed. There's always that element in me where I'm like, a man could turn on you at any point in life.
Yeah, I've had that actually where I'll save that story for another time actually, but I have sent pictures since. I've had a guy like kind of threaten me with that, but the pictures I send, they're always like
not your face,
not my face, and it's always a plain background, so you can't kind of distinguish it's my bedroom ever. Do you know what I mean?
Well, they could digitally put your face on things now, like on porn movies and stuff. That's scary.
Do you know what? You have to roll with it. What can you fucking do? Nothing. Like, no, but it's in terms of if they want to impose.
It's not even about rolling with it. It's just another form of control to make sure women act a certain way, and if you don't, this is what we will do to you. Because I don't see men feeling like
worried about it.
They give unsolicited dick pics. Like, what the hell? What way? On what planet am I like, oh, I'd love a dick pic right now?
Like I'd love a shot like of your your abs, your face, but you don't have abs, do you? You just like have a little floppy dick.
Even if you have abs, you're still sending me your dick.
Yeah, like why?
Like I could love you to bits, and I still think your dick's ugly.
Like honestly, like I'm sorry, I personally don't like find like penises or vaginas particularly attractive.
No, I don't.
Like they're fine.
Like they
do the job.
They do the job. They have its purpose, but
they're not cute.
They're not cute. Like I don't need to see it. Like I really don't care about it.
So yeah, hope you've enjoyed this, guys. Yes. I think we will wrap it up as we
finish it on a bad,
I guess the moral of the story is just
be safe.
Be safe. Be cautious. Trust your gut instinct. hopefully you're with someone that you can trust. Nothing wrong with having a bit of fun. Just be safe and trust each other.
Absolutely.
As much as you can.
Yeah. That is always our motto. I feel like that's always our motto at every end of, be safe, guys. Have fun.
Be safe, Magda.
No, totally. Do you know what? No judgment. That's what I think. I think just
Never.
just be nice. Just be kind to each other. Honestly, that's all we could say.
Yeah, and guys, like, and it should never be the thing, like, you wouldn't want it to happen to your mother or your daughter or your sister, like, or your auntie.
No,
like,
I hate
guys,
that.
just treat people better.
They're just human beings. Just treat them as a human being, and you know what? Things will be fine.
Yeah. All right. Stay tuned, guys.
Yeah.
We are Spilling My Chai, Maz and Chaz. Follow us on Spilling My Chai on Twitter, Instagram. Oh my God. SoundCloud, YouTube,
Facebook.
SPILLINGMYCHAI. Spilling My Chai. That's us.
Woo! All right. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.